So continuing on from part one, we talked about the first couple of months, like what we were doing. We launched the first store and then we launched the second store. We were pulling in around 250 to 300, maybe a little bit more profit by the end of November. So I want to talk about what happened in December and January because this is when things started really picking up. Mainly because we kept on taking all those profits and just reinvesting them, and we had like a constant flow of new products getting tested, new opportunities being opened up, and new areas where we can scale. So December was a month of brute force, a month of creating new stores and finding new winners. I swear we found like 10 winners in December alone, mainly because like all the profit that we were pulling in from store number one and store number two was literally all getting reinvested back into product testing. We were probably testing like 2 to 3 new products every single day, just trying to keep up with like however much we were making in reinvesting. The goal at this point was not to, find one winner and then scale it up and make a little bit of money. Like the goal is to make profit, like make a consistent flow of profit so that we can consistently reinvest and grow that consistent flow of profit. So we started coming up with a little bit of a process, like a little bit of a system. So what we would do is we would start a new store, test a new high ticket product every single day, and then once we have a winner on that store, we would start a new store and rinse and repeat. That was our process. And that's kind of like the first two stores kind of taught that to us, where if you can take one store, make it profitable, take the money from the first store, put it into the second store, and also make that profitable, then both of those stores are profitable and it adds up and comes together into being a lot of money. And then you can literally just keep on duplicating that and duplicating that simply by reinvesting. So this is exactly what we did. And in December alone, we proceeded to create around 7 stores, and we found around 7 consistent winning products, like products that are actually going to do good and be profitable, not just products that did good for the first week or whatever. But these were real products that were actually producing consistent profits on a consistent basis. Now, the stores were super duper profitable, right? Like each of those 7 stores were bringing in maybe like 50 to 100 bucks a day a piece, right? But we were spending so much reinvesting on new stores while scaling those current winners that we only averaged around $300 profit per day for the entire month. This means that we were making around $700 to $800 every single day, but we were investing back like 400 to 500 every single day. The average profit for December was just under 10. I think it was like 9,500 or 9,600, something like that, but just under $10,000. And that was including testing around 40 to 50 products. Like we were testing a lot of products. And I think that that was probably the best thing that we could have done, because all those products that we tested, all those new winners that we found really set us up for January. And then we're in February right now, but we're still crushing it and everything is still kind of snowballing. And we plan on taking this up to around 5K per day profit. That's our goal in the next couple of months, simply by just reinvesting all the profits. So moving into January, which January was, there was a lot of mistakes that were made. So it was really just a month of reflection. And obviously we were doing a lot of scaling. We kind of slowed down on product testing a bit and focused more on the winners that we already had. And I think that this was kind of like a step that was needed in the process so that we can kind of just focus in. Like we have a process down for finding new winners. Now we have to focus on getting a process for getting those new winners up to 6 figures each, So we had to kind of focus on the winners that we already had. We were putting a lot of focus into product testing and not really scaling the winners that we already had. So there's a little bit of a perspective shift, which I think was crucial to where we are today. But at the end of the day, we should have kept testing. But I mean, even when we were just focused on scaling, we were still testing, 4 to 5 products a week. It just wasn't as much as we should have been. And also, January didn't really go as good as we expected it to. The first 2 weeks of January were actually really, really good. We were averaging around $1,000 a day profit. And this was after testing, after refunds, everything that, it was net profit at the end of the day. The main problem was that we weren't testing anymore. We weren't opening new opportunities. We weren't like creating new products that we can scale. And actually product testing on its own was kind of paying for itself. So we didn't have that going either. So we kind of decided that we needed to change. We needed to test more, but we need a system. Like we need a plan. We can't just keep on like playing it by ear, like, oh, how many products should we test this week? How many products can I test right now? How many should we get? How many should we get ready to test? We couldn't do that anymore because it's just a lot of money to kind of just throw around, especially since we're only losing $100 per product. That means if we had 10 grand to reinvest in a month, that's around 3 to 4 products like every single day, including the weekends and everything, which isn't a problem. It's just you need a system to back that up. You need a system for finding the products. You need a system for getting the product descriptions typed up. You need a system for getting the videos made or getting the content made and then uploading them to your store and then putting them into the Facebook Ads Manager, making a page post, making the campaign. And it's just a lot of stuff that you have to do for every product that you test. And obviously it's all worth it, but at the end of the day, when you're pushing volume like that, you need a system. You can't just keep on guessing and saying like, oh, I'm going to do this and that and I'll do this tomorrow, whatever. You need to build it out. So the profits in January were just shy of $17,000. That's including testing, refunds, pretty much everything. And the reason is because mostly in the beginning when we were making all those profits, towards the end of the month, it kind of like a lot of the products they didn't really die out, but they stopped scaling as good. And we were not creating those new opportunities to keep that $1,000 per day consistent, which we kind of switched up in February, but we decided to reinvest 30% of profits into product testing for the first 14 days of the next month. So it's the 11th of February right now, and we've tested around 20 products this month already, and we're basically just reinvesting profits, and we're also trying to start Google ads because we have a few high ticket winners that we think would do really good with Google. And again, that's just another factor of reinvesting. And we are also testing new and more aggressive ways of scaling as well. So not just sticking to my strategy, but also using it as an opportunity to maybe learn something that could perform better than what I do, which honestly, by the way, it's not doing like 100% good. The strategy is kind of but we're still testing it nevertheless, and we're getting a bunch of data that way. But we're pretty much making a big change going into February because we realized that if we want to go from making $1,000 a day profit into making 5,000, there's going to have to be some major changes in the way that we perform, in our systems and the amount of money that we're reinvesting. I mean, all of it is doing good. Like, we're not falling behind or anything, but we're pretty confident into reinvesting the money into finding new winners. Like, so far this month, out of those 20 products that we tested, we found 2 winners that have more than made up for all the money that we've spent. But basically, we're just focused on always creating new opportunities, like basically building a system that will always create new products that could come up and become a 6-figure product on their own. And we're also testing new strategies, and the growth will just continue, especially if we're just reinvesting profits and the product testing is paying for itself. And then anything that we scale out of that is pure profit. I'm very confident that we're going to be able to hit our goals this year. But basically, I hope that this taught you something. Seeing the journey of going from 0 to over 100K a month in sales in 4 months was actually crazy. But it was basically it was just simply like a process of coming from slowly testing products in the beginning, building it up to a consistent profit, and then reinvesting it, and then just rinsing and repeating that day after day, week after week, just taking it day by day. And just focused on the strategy and looking at it from a macro perspective of, if I do this now, it'll pay off in 2 months or it'll pay off next month. And obviously being a partner on this project has been really good because it allows me to see like the amount of work it takes to go from having nothing, like no winning store or anything, and having like over 10 winning products is crazy. Like, it's a crazy thing to say, but at the end of the day, it's backed up with a crazy amount of action. Like, the amount of work that we're doing to get this going is insane, and it's easy to talk about, and it's easy to put in a YouTube title to get a bunch of clicks or whatever. But it's not that easy to do, and you need to understand that, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. But yeah, I just wanted to share the process. I wish that I had this when I started. Like, I wish I was able to kind of look through the exact steps that somebody took to go from 0 to 100K a month, but basically, I'm putting it out there, and you should be able to take advantage of this. Take it to your heart, and next time that you find a winner, don't just get complacent. Reinvest the profits into a new store and find another winner. and then keep on redoing the process, and you should be able to do the same exact thing that we did. But subscribe for more, because I'm going to be dropping more videos like this. I'm working on a 0 to 7 figure series right now, where I'm actually going to be going more in depth about the specific things that we did in terms of product testing, finding products, product scaling, those types of things. But as for this video, this is No Guru, and I'm out. Peace.